And welcome back to Hero Power. I am your host, Avantes, and as always, I am joined by my co-hosts, Zeroshio
Still can't get over the theme music. It's dope.
and Versika.
I know, right? We should reach out to him and see what's the going rate for another one for Alchemy Lab.
There you go.
Ooh.
There you go. Kurt, if you're listening, shoot me an email. We have a new show we'd like to talk to you about. All right, welcome. We have a great show lined up for you today. Got a good bit to talk about, and we are finally going to get around to doing that thing we forgot to do 2 weeks ago, and we're going to give away...
Oh, no. We didn't forget to do it. You were not prepared to
Well,
do it.
yeah, that was that. And
We
then I
forgot
forgot
to
last
do it
week.
last week.
Yeah, so we're going to give away a $20 Battle.net gift card today. So one lucky patron is going to be 15 packs richer here soon. So, but before we get into all of that, Versika, do your thing.
All right. Well, we've been talking a lot about Viforce Gaming for a long time now. One of the things that we've talked about in the last couple of weeks, I wanted to reiterate again tonight. If you are not following Viforce Gaming on Twitter, you really need to think about doing so. Over the course of the last, the last 10 days or so, I've really been paying attention to what they've been putting out there. And if you are just into general techdom, nerddom, they are like really Johnny on the spot for this kind of stuff. I mean, they really kind of have their finger on the pulse of what it's like to be a gamer navigating social media. And the reason that I say that is because I don't have a huge Twitter account. So I don't have a huge following, and I'm fairly light on the number of people that I follow, but still my Twitter feed rolls by at just a ridiculous pace, and I miss a lot of stuff because the time that I have to scroll through the Twitter feed is actually fairly limited. So what I've started doing is I'll scroll for a few minutes, but kind of rabbit hole down a couple of things, but then I go to the people that I know post regular content that I am interested in, that regularly post content that I'm interested in. And I tell you what, in the last few weeks, Viforce Gaming's account has really moved to the top of my Twitter feed. And I really enjoy seeing what they post. And one of the things that I like about it is that as a gamer and as a tech-minded person, the stories that they're posting, like I'm clicking on every one of them. I'm relating to all of them as Roshio is trying to shoo the pointer away from his nose in the middle of my commercial. But so yeah, so go to twitter.com, they're Viforce Gaming, or at Viforce Gaming, and click follow on the link, and we'll talk more about this going from the audio portion to the video portion. But if you are really into this scene, I feel like at this point they're almost a must follow. So check them out at Viforce Gaming. On Twitter.
All right. Sorry about that.
No, you're not sorry.
Other games. Versika gets distracted easy.
Yeah, there's that. All right, guys. So, no emails, no iTunes reviews this week. So, hop on that, guys. We love to hear from you, and we're getting lonely and bored. And
Now,
when I'm
you say no
bored,
emails, we did get some deck list emails.
Yes,
and
we
I
did
want
get
to
some
thank
deck
everybody
list
who
emails,
sent them.
Yes.
And we'll start checking them out, playing with them, and the ones that fit into our rotation, we'll definitely try to feature them on the show if we have time.
Yeah.
In fact, the deck that we're doing tonight is actually an email deck list.
That's right. One of our listeners sent it in, and we're going to take a look at it and play it a little and see how it goes. But first, it's that time. Let's give away a $20 Battle.net gift card, guys.
We're doing it at the top of the show. Woo.
Yes.
Go.
So we don't forget.
Let's do it so we don't forget. Yeah. All right. So if you guys don't remember, basically all $5 and up patrons are eligible. If you patron for $10, you get 2 entries. $15, you get 3 entries. $20, you get 4 entries. So you can increase your chances. All $5 and up entries are eligible. And this month's winner is
Ooh!
Joseph Sanchez. Congratulations to
Hey.
Ducharmo on your new shiny $20 Battle.net gift card. We will be in touch with that code in the next day or so.
Ducharmo said he doesn't need it, and you can just send it to me.
Oh,
Just
okay.
kidding,
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah, yeah. We'll take care of
Ducharmo's my
that.
buddy. He's been a long-time supporter of the show. Really do appreciate all the help, and enjoy, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So let's get right into the news. The Hearthstone Global Games continued today.
Yes.
We have wrapped on round 1, and round 2 is underway. And today saw what I thought was some of the best Hearthstone we've seen played. It was 2 of the juggernaut teams that I felt were really well stacked. U.S. versus the Netherlands.
Yes.
So, in this match, the first match of the day between those 2 teams was Firebat versus Tyler, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had Dog, and I can't remember his opponent's name off the top of my head. But then the third match was Mitsuhide versus help me out.
Was that Amnesiac?
No,
Oh, he was the fourth one.
he was the fourth one.
Meowth. Hot Meowth.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No, it was Mitsuhide versus Dog, wasn't it? 'Cause it was Hot Meowth
was in
versus the
second
other
match.
guy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then the final match of that was the epic brawl that everybody was tuning in for. It was Tice
Yes.
versus Amnesiac. And
Oh,
that
yeah.
match was phenomenal to watch.
It went back and forth. You did not know who was going to win that match. It was really good.
Yes, it was. So, props to the Netherlands team. They played really well. U.S. ended up taking that win to go up 2-0 in their group, which is considered by many to be the group of death.
Yeah, and most importantly,
The group of death.
they knocked Netherlands out of a tie for first to second place, almost assuring them, and barring any disaster, that the U.S. should qualify after the 10 weeks, because that was their biggest opponent, biggest competition in that group. There's a lot of really good competition, though, so we'll just see how it pans out.
I was going to say, one of the things that we have come to learn so far about the Hearthstone competitions, though, is that the little man can come up and slap the big guy from time to time. So
Yeah, there's been tons of upsets, by teams like Taiwan. China actually lost in their first round. I'm not going to go through all of it because there's so many groups. I think there's like 8 different groups, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely go over. We'll have the link in the show notes to the Global Games website, and you can check the standings. Now, they did finish the first round, but not all the teams have played yet. Because of scheduling, some teams don't play their first game until rounds 2, and some of them 3. And some teams have played two of their games just in the first round. So it's going to be a 10-week limit. The group stages are 10 weeks long, so definitely tune into those. One thing I really like is they're broadcasting them live at odd times because of the various teams that they're throughout the world, but they're rebroadcasting twice, two additional times throughout the day. So everybody across the world should be able to view those at a time that's good for them.
Okay, cool.
Can we talk about my favorite match of the day?
Yeah, let's talk about your favorite match of the day.
We had Mexico versus Poland, and they led out with one of the 5 female gamers in HGG, Epsilon, out of Mexico. Now, if you haven't heard of Epsilon, I've actually checked her out once I saw she was in the HGG. she's an avid streamer. She doesn't do a lot of competitions and tournaments, but she's a very popular streamer. One thing I really loved about this match, aside from what we're going to talk about in a second, is her deck, is that she was so animated. She would wave at the camera. Whenever something happened, she'd pray and hope they didn't have an answer, and she'd get excited and jump around whenever she made a good play. And this is something I'm not just seeing from her. I'm seeing them from the Greece team. Like a Boss was very animated. Whenever he made a play he thought was nail in the coffin, he'd wave at the camera. I'm really liking the playfulness of these teams. They're really having fun with this, and it's giving a lot of competitive spirit to teams that the players all across the world that may not have been noticed because there's such a small contingent of Hearthstone players. Now, her deck, she played Hunter versus Tutek's Priest deck, which his was a standard Lyra Priest, and her Hunter deck was a Menagerie Hunter.
Yeah, it was anything but common.
When you say Menagerie Hunter, you go ahead and assume, well, obviously it's Hunter, it has beasts, and they threw in some Murlocs. And she did have the Finja package. We didn't see Finja, but we did see the War Leaders and the Bluegills. But she popped out the Curator, and what card pops into her hand?
Ysera.
Ysera.
Out of nowhere.
Hunter. Priest had zero answer for Ysera.
Yeah, it was really funny because she got Ysera on the board. She had a Savannah Highmane on the board, and she had a what's the 2/2?
She had a Firefly.
No,
Scavenging
Hyena.
Scavenging Hyena.
And the priest is just looking for an answer, any kind of an answer at all.
Ysera hits the board, his head goes straight back like this. It's just like, what did I do? And she does a little dance.
Yeah.
It was great.
So he's holding the 8 mana Tortolan card that when it comes into play, discover a spell and cast it on a random target. It's his only prayer. He plays it, and lo and behold, there is
Mind control.
So he picks mind control, hoping to get Ysera or the Savannah, and he gets the Scavenging Hyena, which ends the game. It was fantastic, well played by both sides, so much fun to watch, and that Hunter deck just blew the casters away.
Yeah, because it came out the gate like a mid-range Hunter. But as the game went on, you realized the way she was playing it and some of the cards in there was more like a control Hunter. And instead of having spell removal, she just used sticky minions and used those as removal. And I was just blown away by the deck building. I don't know if it's an Epsilon original or if it's part of maybe the team helped her build it or what. I'd love to dig more into it and find out the origination of that deck. I hope it was something she came up with. But her play was spot on, and her enthusiasm was just great. I couldn't ask for a better match. The one thing that I've been missing is when you talk about the Americas and North America, you hear about the Canadian players, you hear about USA, and occasionally you get some South American players down in Brazil with Snail and a few of those guys. You never hear anything about Mexico, and I'm glad to see that there's a thriving Mexico scene for Hearthstone.
Absolutely. So, all right. Hearthstone Global Games continues again tomorrow. So make sure, if you can, tune in, check it out. There's been some great Hearthstone played in the last few matches. It's been a lot of fun to watch, seeing Ngoro put to the test. Speaking of Hearthstone to watch, this weekend we have the championships for the Hearthstone Collegiate tournaments that have been going on.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't already done so, you need to go and pick your team of the final. I think there's 8 teams left they will be playing until there's only one winner. And so they're doing the pick a champion like they did at BlizzCon.
Have you guys done your picks?
I have.
Yep.
So who did you want to you want to say who we picked?
Sure.
Hold on, I'll have to look again.
All right, Zeroshio, who did you pick?
I defected, and because of I just want to hear him say it 100 times, I went with Monreal.
Okay.
Oh.
Because they really impressed me with a lot of their choices in play. And I think they're kind of the underdog, and they're unpredictable because they make lines that you don't expect to win, but in the end of the game, they end up winning.
Okay. Versika?
Hold on, I gotta remember. I gotta remember who my other one was. I remembered who one of them was.
Okay.
Okay, so I went with Shawnee State.
Okay.
That's a good
And that was with my EU account. And with my America's account, I went with Rutgers.
Oh,
That's a solid pick.
that is
That's
a solid pick.
Rutgers is very good. I almost picked Rutgers, but I think because Rutgers has been throughout this before, and they've kind of picked a lot of meta decks, I think they may be a little predictable, and that's why I didn't pick them.
So
The reason why, actually, the reason I picked both of them was because I feel like Rutgers had the solid deck creation, and I feel like it's early enough in the meta that solidity in their I don't feel like any of their decks really does much super great, but it doesn't really have any weaknesses either. Shawnee State, I watched them play themselves out of tough situation after tough situation after tough situation, and they made some really hard calls, so I really liked. That's why I went with Shawnee State.
okay. So I really had no idea who to pick. I've not really been paying a lot of attention to the collegiate tournaments since it started. I mean, I've watched a few here and there. You know, I watched our buddy Dr. Jikaniki play for VCU, and so I watched some of those matches, but I hadn't really been paying a lot of attention to who was good. So I really had no idea who to pick.
You picked Cal, didn't you? You picked Cal.
So we had a conversation.
Look, he did.
Just wait. We had a conversation in our patron Discord channel the other night about what teams would be good to pick. And since I didn't really know, I went straight to the source. And I reached out to our friend and caster for the collegiate tournament, Cora,
Awesome.
to get her opinion.
So he cheated.
And Cora said she felt like the two strongest teams coming into the Final Eight were Colorado State and Rutgers. And so I picked Rutgers.
Oh, cool. I was expecting Cal just because they've been beaten up in every other esport. Might as well support them here too.
Yeah. No, so I ended up picking Rutgers off of Cora's suggestion. And so,
which we want to remind everybody, the Collegiate National Championship is this weekend, the 22nd and 23rd, and the casters are That's Admirable and friend of the show, Cora. So definitely check that out and support those casters, because those casters have been working really hard for, how long has this been going on? Is it 16 weeks?
Oh yeah,
It's been
it's been
a while.
a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
There was a funny conversation on Discord or on Twitter earlier with Cora and some of the crew from Coin Concede about how, you know, she had forgotten what it was like to podcast because it had been so long. She's been because she's been casting so much, and you know, they were like, well, we hope you don't ever podcast again until you retire from a long and successful career in casting. And
she's been doing the TESPA. She's been rotating the TESPA Collegiate with That's Admirable and Brian Kibler. And then she's been picked up a few times to do some fill-in spots with the HCT Tour. And then
She's doing the Global Championship.
she's doing Global Games
she's doing
tomorrow.
Global Championships. And the weekend after this one is DreamHack Austin. That's April 28th through the 30th.
Yep.
And she's been contracted to cast those that event as well. So definitely check her out both at the Collegiate National Championship this weekend and at DreamHack Austin.
Next
we got
weekend.
links to all that in the show the
Yep.
following weekend.
Yep.
How do you like that segue?
Yeah, there you go. Knocked it out.
But definitely support her. She's been great for the community. She's been great for doing some great shout outs to us on Twitter and a good friend of the show. So definitely go support her. She's a tremendously great Hearthstone player, streamer, and caster. So yeah, support her and support the Hearthstone community, because I really think the esports for Hearthstone is starting to pick back up, and there has been a few people that are not totally pleased with the meta right now. I see it evolving every single day, and I'm really excited for esports around it. All 9 classes are being represented. Hearthstone Global Games is a 9-class format, but you're seeing on other esports and on the ladder, I'm seeing all 9 classes being played, and we haven't seen that in a while.
Yep, absolutely. So, all right. Well, moving on. I've got something I want to talk to you guys about. A friend of ours named Ro reached out to us this week. He does, you might know him from Realm Maintenance Podcast. He does that, and he also does another show. It's the Rolling Restart.
The Rolling Restart, yes.
Yeah. And every year, right before BlizzCon, he puts on a convention with a little help from his friends Bell and Root, and basically they do what's now called Con Before the Storm.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys are unfamiliar with what Con Before the Storm is, I'm going to talk to you about it just a little bit. Basically, it started in 2013 as a pre-BlizzCon event organized by fans for fans. This year will be their 5th year to do it, and every year the event itself is crowdfunded. So they need your help this year to put on the event. Now, this event used to be called World of Podcasts, and basically what that is he would have a lot of Blizzard podcasts like us and our friends over at Legend of the Innkeeper, who were actually involved last year. They would come out and they would do panels and talk to fans, do meet and greets. And so it's a great way for fans and content creators to come together and meet and talk about the Blizzard products that they love. And it's really a great event. So we would ask if you just anything helps, $1, they have reward levels. You can get t-shirts and artwork done by people like Scott Johnson from Frog Pants.
Wow.
So, in fact, I think he's doing their official artwork this year for the Con Before the Storm. So, you guys, if you want to help out, go to Kickstarter. I'll have a link in the show notes. Give what you can. One of our personal goals is to be able to actually go out to this event one year. I was telling Zeroshio and Versika, as cool as it would be to go to BlizzCon one year, I would love to go to World of Podcasts and be able to be there with, some of the other show hosts who do, the WoW podcasts and that do the Heroes of the Storm podcast, be able to talk and share ideas and hang out with fans. I just think that would be an amazing event, and it's a good event. It's a good time for fans and content creators. So go check it out and watch their video on the Kickstarter site. Like I said,
we'll have a link. We'll have a link to that in the show notes.
Yeah, and
which will be at HeroPowerHS.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for Avantes and I, this is our 5th year podcasting. So these are the guys that we have looked up to, and really, if you're enjoying a video game, especially a Blizzard podcast, right now, there is a good chance that the reason that podcast is around is because these guys were blazing the trail for us. So, anything that you can do to help us help them get this event going would mean a lot to us personally as well as professionally.
And kind of on a note, I know people are out there saying, well, I'm not making it to BlizzCon. I can't go to Con Before the Storm. Why would I want to put money into something I'm not going to enjoy? That's not true. Part of the fundraising effort for this Kickstarter is that they get all these production groups. You got Frog Pants Network, you got A-Move TV, you got Frozen Fox Network. All these networks get together. It costs money to get equipment out there, and they use that money to get the equipment out there, record all of these joint podcast panels, and they load these up on iTunes on their websites. But if they don't have the money to do that, they can't load that stuff up because they won't have the equipment there to record it. It's easy to have the equipment at your house or in your studio, but to get that equipment out to that venue, you need to run a U-Haul. You need to make sure that it's packaged properly, and all that costs money. Con Before the Storm always makes sure to record all of their content and put it out there for everybody to listen to for free.
That's exactly right. So, yeah, go check it out, and if you can, help out in any way, that's great. We greatly appreciate it. So, all right. Well, that brings us to this week's deck list. As we said earlier at the top of the show, this was a listener-submitted deck list. And he sent us a really well-written email to go along with it, talk about the deck, which he calls Boom Priest. So I'm going to go over the deck list, and then we'll talk about it a little bit, and I'll let Versika kind of talk a little bit about it since he's driving this week, and then we'll switch over and check it out a little bit. So, all right, the deck list runs 2 Dirty Rats, 2 Mana Geodes, 2 Nether Spot Historians, 2 Shadow Visions, 2 Cabal Talon Priests,
Take a drink.
Thank you.
2 Shadow Word Death, 2 Stonehill Defender, 1 Greater Healing Potion, 2 Shifting Shades, 2 Twilight Drakes, 2 Draconid Operatives, 2 Holy Novas, 2 Dragonfire Potions, 1 Free from Amber, Medivh the Guardian, 2 Primordial Drakes, and Ysera. So,
This excites me.
Yeah.
This excites
so
me.
The point of this deck is it's a very control-based deck. The object is to just kind of gain control of the board and find a win condition from either Ysera or Medivh with Free from Amber. You control the board through things like Holy Nova and Dragonfire Potion, and you've got your taunts in Stonehill Defender and Primordial Drake and Dirty Rat. Shadow Visions is so good because it can give you a 3rd Holy Nova or a 3rd Dragonfire Potion to keep
or a
the
second
board
free
clear.
from Amber.
Or a 2nd Free from Amber. Yeah, so this deck really has a lot of reach because there's a lot of things it can do well, and it can survive into the late game. Versika, you've been kind of playtesting this a little bit to get ready to play for tonight. What are your thoughts on the deck?
I think it's pretty well-rounded. It is a little draw dependent, but it makes up for that in the fact that Nether Historian, Stonehill Defender, and Draconid Operative, those creatures, those minions give you options when you play them. So it really allows you to adapt your deck on the fly. Shadow Visions is great because it kind of does the same thing for your spells. You get to discover 1 of 3 spells. Well, the deck only runs 4, right? I think it's 4 now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's 5 counting the Shadow Visions. There's a good chance that when you Shadow Visions, though, you're going to get something that you need. I actually played around with not running the Greater Healing Potion earlier just to see if I could help maximize the Shadow Vision's value. But there's so many times where you're right on the cusp of getting the game under control, and the other deck just outvalues you. So the 12 extra healing from Greater Healing Potion is really key. I actually played around a little bit with taking out Stonehill Defender and putting in Priest of the Feast. I actually had a great deal of success with that as well. More success than I thought, because I wasn't running the Power Word Shield and the cheap spells that normally allow you to maximize that Priest of the Feast value. But people are so scared of Priest of the Feast now that they get rid of it pretty early. I'm a big fan of Stonehill Defender, but when I first saw it in this deck, I wasn't really sure if you would get a lot of value out of it. It almost has to happen early, otherwise you're just hoping for another Primordial Drake. But you would be surprised at the number of times you actually get Primordial Drake out of this as Stonehill Defender with this deck. I was pretty shocked. I guess because Priest doesn't have a great deal of taunt minions, you almost always got the new taunt minion, the 2/6 with the Death Rattle, as an option. So it's never a bad card to play because you at least have even if the other two really stink, you can fall back on that Stonehill Defender.
Yeah, so I want to address a question from the chat. Adams ST55 says, how often is 2 times mana geode worth more than a vanilla 2/3? So right now in this meta, and that's a great question, but right now in this meta, with all of the 1/1s coming out of Quest Rogue,
Yep.
and Elemental Shaman, the 1/2s, and you've got the 1/1s coming out of Hunter.
There's a lot of people running Acolyte of Pain.
It gets a lot of value really fast, and so it's pretty easy to build these 2/2 geodes on the board that you can then just counterattack with, and it puts good board pressure. And it forces your opponent to prioritize removal to try to get it off the board. So, we during playtesting we've been finding it's a lot better than a lot of people have really given it credit for.
I've liked Mana Geode for quite a while, and I would use it in most of my Priest decks in Mean Streets. So this will be the first time I'm running 2. I've always just put it in as a 1-of, and usually paired it with a 1-of Dirty Rat. But this deck's actually running 2 Dirty Rats and 2 Mana Geodes. The one thing that I noticed and it was something that was directly called out in the email, and I'm glad that they called it out in the email, because when I first looked at the list, immediately the first thing I noticed was it doesn't run Bookworm and it doesn't run Shadow Word Pain. So my initial thought was to take out the Talon Priest and put in Shadow Word Pains, or take out the Talon Priest and put in Bookworms. Both of those slowed the deck down tremendously. It has to have a decent amount of early mid-game pressure. So you really need to be putting minions on the board turns 3 and 4. If you're not, there's a good chance in this meta you're falling behind. And once this deck gets behind, it is very hard for it to catch up. It almost has to stay in front of things on the board. At least, if not staying in front of things on the board, you at least have to have an answer.
Exactly. And another question that was asked about this deck, and Versika mentioned it briefly earlier, is why are you not running Priest of the Feast? And really it has to do with the types of spells that this deck runs, as opposed to, really we're running Shifting Shades here in place of the Priest of the Feast, just because they give a little more value in this deck than Priest of the Feast would. You're not going to be in a position where you're going to be just constantly churning Priest spells like you might in a Lyra deck.
Yeah.
So
there's no Power Word Shield.
Right.
A lot of your draw engines specifically coming from Shadow Visions, and instead of just getting more card draw, you're specifically using the Shadow Visions to draw spells. And you're not going to get a lot of small spells, but you might be able to turn that one of greater healing potion into two if you need it, or those the two holy novas into a third holy nova. So that's really why you're.
There it is.
AC is just trolling me, trolling me.
Oh.
All right, there you go. If you don't hang out in our chat during the live show, I recommend you do it. We have a lot of fun in there. They keep it scrolling. Zero's a boomity priest. Okay. Anyway, my biggest excitement for me for this deck is the combination of Free from Amber with Medivh's weapon Atiyesh, because Free from Amber is 8 mana to get you a 8 cost or higher minion, and then Atiyesh will get you another 8 cost minion, and that's where the boom comes in right there. Not to mention you have your Nether Spite Historians possibly drawing you additional dragons. This is just value on top of value. I'm ready to see this deck go. Let's just do it.
Hey, wait, that's my line. All right. Well, before we just go, do you guys have any last thoughts before we wrap up the audio portion of the show tonight? Versika, we'll start with you.
Actually, yeah, I want to bring up something that was just brought up in our chat. The Free from Amber can sometimes get you a charged Devilsaur. And one of the knocks on charged Devilsaur in this meta has been that it can't go face right away. It's got charge, but it can't attack the hero right away. The can't attack hero right away is only procced on the battle cry.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get charged Devilsaur from Free for Amber, it can go face the turn it comes into play.
Yes.
Interesting. That's good to know.
So when you play Free from Amber and it procs, just make sure you don't do a patches thing and wait to see what you get out of it before you hit that end turn.
Yes.
All right. Zeroshio, what are your last thoughts for this day?
You stole what I was going to say. I was going to bring that up as well. It's about time that Versika steals my stuff instead of me stealing his stuff. So
that's why he let me go first.
Due. I'm due. I'm loving the creativity. This deck was submitted to us by one of our sponsors over at Viforce. Was it Ramsey that sent this to us?
It was.
It was Ramsey that sent it to us. He also sent, I think 3 or 4 other decks. We love the creativity. The meta is fresh right now. It's constantly changing. We've had a couple other people send decks in as well. Please send us those decks. It's given us some great ideas to make some decks of our own. My brain is going crazy because I haven't been able to play like I wanted to when the release came out. So our next Hero Power Lab is definitely going to take some of these ideas into building our decks. So we're going to probably try to do another Hero Power Lab here in the near future. Look out for that. And we're probably going to try to make these – they're not going to be very regular right now just because of time and resources. But we're contemplating putting out a Patreon goal for it. We'll have more information about that over at patreon.com/heropower. So keep your eyes open for that. If you like the Hero Power Labs, definitely let us know so we can decide exactly what we want to do to set those goals and make that happen.
All right, guys. I'm just going to remind you of what we said earlier. There's a lot of great Hearthstone to watch the next couple of weeks. Tomorrow's Global Games. Next weekend is, or this weekend is the Hearthstone Collegiate National Championship, and the following weekend is DreamHack Austin. So settle in, buckle in, and get ready for some great competition. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us this week. If you're joining us on Twitch or YouTube, please stay tuned for the live play portion of our show. If you are listening via our audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. You can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show, you would like to support and improve it, you can do that by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/heropower. There you will also gain access to our special patron-only Discord, where we do a lot of theory crafting. We have a lot of awesome conversations about Hearthstone. We usually watch all these events together and talk about them in real time as they're going on. So if you'd like to join in on that, you can do so for as little as $1 a month. So come check it out. There are other perks. Feel free to check it out and see what you think. All right, guys. Until next time.
Good gaming. And don't forget to use your hero power.
There it is. I was trying to set you up, man. You just had to knock it out of the park.
I was waiting for my setup.
Yeah. He's trying to throw you. He tried to throw you underhanded and threw you a knuckleball instead.
That's right.
All right, guys. Those of you still with us.
Thanks for sticking through that awkward silence.
Yeah. While we are setting up for the play portion of tonight's show, Versika is going to tell you a little bit more about our friends at Viforce.
So one of the things that we've also not talked about from Viforce for a while is, if you're newer to the show, you may not know that Viforce actually offers video gaming sponsorship. Currently, as far as the last I heard, they're currently offering sponsorships for CSGO, League of Legends, and Battlefield. They are offering solo sponsorships, small team sponsorships, and large team sponsorships. And I would go over all of that, but I would rob you of the experience of actually getting to go to ViforceGaming.com under the sponsorship tabs and watching the videos where they explain it themselves. So once again, that's ViforceGaming.com/sponsorships.php. You can go there and you can click on the sponsorship that you'd be interested in and watch the guys at Viforce tell you a little bit about that sponsorship. So if you are looking for a sponsor and breaking into the professional video game industry, go over there and check and see what Viforce has to offer.
Alrighty. So are you about ready to get in there and play this deck?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Excellent.
I am trying to find a worthy opponent at the moment. It didn't take very long, so I must be dime a dozen tonight.
All right. So let's see what you got.
A hunter.
So
we're playing against a hunter first. All right.
I'm hearing that hunters are very common right now. You're seeing a lot of mid-range hunter. I think we had one of our listeners make a comment, or one of our community members said they're playing about 40% of their games are against hunter right now.
That's right. So our opening hand is Dirty Rat, Draconid Operative, and Shifting Shade. So what are your guys' thoughts on the mulligan?
Well, Operative's got to go back, and Shifting Shade does as well because we don't have the coin.
I like Dirty Rat early. A lot of the stuff they keep in their hands are small minions, and a lot of them have battle cries.
Yeah.
So that really can, if you rob them of a Houndmaster or even an Alley Cat, that's beneficial.
Yeah. The Hunter is one of the classes that I will Dirty Rat early.
Yeah.
Even if I don't have something to immediately follow up. So I'm going to say just keep the Dirty Rat and throw everything else.
I like that.
He threw away 2 cards. So Mana Geode and Dragonfire Potion. Mana Geode is actually a really good draw for us, especially with Talon Priest backing it up. So I imagine there's nothing he can throw out on turn 1 that's going to make me want to not play Mana Geode.
I agree.
Yeah. The only thing that I worry about is the Crackle. Is it Crackle Maul?
Razor Maw, or
Razor
Crackling Razor Maw. Yeah.
Yeah, Crackling Razor Maul. If you throw out Dirty Rat, you could rob him of that. But if you put out the Mana Geode, he could put poison on one of those. But that's actually worth the risk.
I was going to say, I'd almost rather have my Mana Geode poison than my dirty
Yeah,
rat.
that's what I was thinking too. Well, if we pull him out, then he wouldn't get that. Yeah, I think Mana Geo is a play here, though.
Do you agree, Avantes?
Yes, I like the Geode here.
Geode it is.
I don't think you can go wrong.
The Razor
either way.
Maw is a 3/2 minion, so you can always just run the Geode into it.
Yeah.
The big fear is getting a high main, but we have Shadow or Death to go with Dirty Rat, so maybe we're saving until 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking now.
Hunter's Mark.
Main deck Hunter's Mark. Okay.
It's becoming a one-of again. I don't know if I agree with it because Crackling Razor Maul kind of does the same thing if you can get the poison effect. So I don't like Hunter's Mark in my version, but Biscuit Dude obviously does.
Do we?
All right, so
yeah,
I think we're coming up on Houndmaster turn anyway. I don't really want to play Naked Cabal Talon Priest.
Well, he did coin out, use the coin, so it's a possibility that he won't have. He obviously can't coin out the Houndmaster.
Right.
But Dirty Rat seems to be the only real play we have.
Unless we just heal pass, which there's not a whole lot on the board, so I'm not terribly opposed to that.
We could heal pass.
Dirty Rat could draw out a kill command, though.
It could.
On turn 3, definitely.
I think let's go ahead and Dirty Rat.
I like it. Give us a good battle cry. Hey,
Yeah,
all right.
That's what I wanted to see. That's what I wanted to see. That's probably one of the best things to pull out of his hand. Crackling Razor Maul. That's one of the big keeps with Hunter right now. You always want to keep it to couple with Alley Cat or Jewel McCall.
See,
You
now
put poison on them, take out
I
anything.
feel like we get better value out of our Talon Priest now.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. He's going to
Especially
pop
if he's
his...
going to start running stuff in.
Yeah, no, maybe not.
Yeah, I actually still feel like Talon Priest, even drawing the Mana Geode, I still feel like Talon Priest onto Dirty Rat is...
Yeah, if we trade the Razor Maul, it basically
gonna say-
negates damage.
We can run Dirty Rat into the Razor Maw, Mana Geode, and then heal Dirty Rat to back up within 1. And then we use Mana Geode next turn to start
I like that.
growing our board.
I
And
like
then
that
maybe
play.
Cabal Telepriest on the Mana Geode?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. This does put it in kill command range.
It does, but then he's
But
using
you'd have
the
to
kill
empty his
command
whole
and
board.
running his whole board into the
Yeah.
Mana Geode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would just leave him with a 3/2 on the board. So, Eagle Horn Bow, nice.
That's still
Still,
good.
though.
It's still really good value. Oh yeah, Talon Priest into the 3/2 into a heal. That's gonna be
Ordering is ordering a thing we do these days?
Yeah.
yeah.
And there's the Medivh.
So we will Talon Priest the Geode, run the Geode in,
Heal the Geode.
heal the
Oh
Geode.
yeah. And now it's still out of range for what's on board at least.
Exactly. And now we can start creating tokens.
He has to try to clear that 2/5, which leaves our Cabal Talon Priest on the board. At 5 mana, I don't think he can clear the whole board, not as a hunter.
Adams ST in chat says, "Do you guys remember a few minutes ago when I had a question about how often Geode gets value?"
There's your value, Adam. Awesome. So we're answering questions here on Hero Power.
There you go.
That's
All right, Tundra Rhino.
yeah.
That's a lot of resources to
That is a
clear one little mana geode.
ton of resources.
Yes, it is.
Ton of resources.
All right. So,
So, without a doubt, I'm just going to go ahead and do this before I forget about it.
yep.
Okay. So now, Shadow Visions.
I think the Shadow Vision first, yeah.
Yep.
Honestly, I think here Holy Nova is our best pick.
Oh, we're getting a spectate bug. We're not seeing
Yeah,
the
I
discover.
don't see it. So what are your discoveries?
Okay, so my discovers are Greater Healing Potion, Shadow Word Death, or Holy Nova.
I like Holy Nova.
I like Holy Nova as well.
I think Holy Nova is the best choice. So we will choose Holy Nova. We will kill the Alley Cat.
Yep. And then
we will heal the Shallow Priest.
Yep.
Yep.
I like that Holy Nova appearing in your hand out of nowhere.
Yeah. I was wondering if it was just me. I was like, what just happened? Geode OP. I mean, it got good value even just one time. Ooh. There's your death value.
Yep.
If he doesn't pick.
Well, if he picks the can't be targeted, we can just run our minions in.
That's right.
If
So if you guys listened to the show last week, this is the ornery Direhorn that we talked about that Zeroshio decided he needed to laugh at me about.
The ornery Direhorn. They named this card just for hero power and Avantis.
Yeah.
That's fine. Plus 3
He's
health.
going to be very disappointed.
Yep. I don't know why you would do that against Priest. I would rather take...
there's value.
Ooh, yeah.
So first thing I'm going to do is Nether Spot Historian.
It charges up for a Drek, and it's
Still no discover, so you'll have to tell us what your options are.
Oh, wow. So you're still getting that. Okay, so my options are Malagos, Bookworm, or Fairy Dragon. And I'm thinking Bookworm.
I like Bookworm because it can kill any other small minions he may play later.
Mm-hmm.
And it also will at least trigger our secret agent next turn.
But
yes.
But Malagos also triggers our secret agent.
And
he's a 4/12.
Yeah.
That's a lot of clearing power.
It is. That makes for big. It makes for big Holy Novas and big Dragonfire potions as well.
I think I like Malagos the best.
I'm not against it. And for the record, if you stop spectating and jump back in, you can see the choices.
Okay, I will try that.
Okay. So I went to face. I went to face with the 5 and healed up the mana geode back to a 2/2.
Yep, I like that.
All right.
And I'm trying to think, other than Deadly Shot, I don't know how he gets rid of Malagos.
Yeah, so he just played a Savannah High main.
Do we slam Medivh on the board?
I absolutely think we slam Medivh on the board.
Yeah.
And go face?
Why not.
Yes. We slam Medivh and go face.
Because this sets up, if he has to pop his high main, or we pop his high main, Holy Nova is going to give us a 5 mana minion.
Yep.
And we'll clear up the 2/2s that drop out of him, the hyenas.
Oh, he's giving it an adapt.
He's either going to go plus attack or divine shield. Taunt. Okay. Which Medivh will still survive it.
Yeah. This is what I'm thinking. Stop me if you guys have heard this before. So what I'm thinking is go ahead and run the Geode and the Talon Priest into the 6/5 taunt.
Uh-huh.
Run Medivh into the other 6/5.
Run Medivh into the other 6/5 and then Holy Nova.
I like it.
I like it a lot. It's going to take all the steam out of his sails. We're going to heal. We're going to clear the board. Medivh's going to be at 7/3.
Oh, wait. First thing, I'm going to lay this Twilight Drake.
Okay.
Yeah. 9 mana. That works.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. 5/4. That's not bad. That's not bad value.
No.
He is dead to board.
He's really dead to board. Like taunt
He has
doesn't
to
help
get
him.
rid of. I was going to say he has to get rid of Medivh and put a taunt.
He has to get rid of something. Yeah, he's dead.
Yep.
Eaglehorn bow to Medivh, but that
Ooh.
still gets him.
It still gets him, yeah, because you run
He
the...
just face take Medivh.
Yeah, Matt at Arms said, Holy Nova value, and then threw in a deals champ.
AC says Batman. Batman's behind me over here somewhere.
All right.
All right, here we go again.
Does it make you you want to call? Oh, AC, you crack me up.
So Matt at Arms, it's funny because I was playing the Tavern Brawl this week, and I was playing the Shaman deck, and Ozark is in there. Orzhok is in there, and I had it queued up on my Spotify to play Bodies when he hit the board.
Nice.
All right, so we have the coin this time against a druid, and our opening hand is Free from Amber, Primordial Drake, Dirty Rat, and Twilight Drake.
I think we throw back the Drake, the Primordial Drake, and the Free from Amber, and keep the Dirty Rat and the Twilight Drake. Because we don't know what kind of druid we're playing yet. If we're playing a Jade Druid or an Egg Druid, I feel like Dirty Rat gets us decent value. If we're playing a Quest Druid or a Ramp Druid, not so much. But I feel like that's worth chancing.
Well, Ramasi is in chat, the one who sent us this deck list, and he says, don't toss the Twilight Drake.
Oh, no, I'm not. I never toss Twilight Drake when I've got the coin.
Oh, yeah.
That's old handlock rules.
Yep.
And
Well,
that is
Shifting
actually...
Shade will be good, and this will give us some idea on his deck, too.
Yeah.
And there's the fire.
This is
Fly
Egg
right out of the
Druid.
gate.
This is aggro.
Egg Druid.
Which Primordial Drake, if we can get that far, will be great. So will Dragonfire Potion. That may be our turn 5 play with the coin. So, with this being Egg Druid, do you think that Dirty Rat will give us value here?
I think so.
Because
My plan was to Dirty Rat on too.
yeah, they'll get a small minion hopefully, and most will trade into Dirty Rat.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
we hold on to the coin for the Dragon Fire Potion on 5.
Or at this
Yes.
point, even Holy Nova,
Yeah, whichever.
4.
Yeah,
depending on board state.
I think. Oh, good.
Yes, that was good.
that's
That was a
great
really good pull.
Yeah.
Probably one of the better pulls out of here.
So he's setting up now to start giving everything +1/+1, or Mark of the Lotus,
Yeah, Mark of Lotus.
Power
So
of the Wild.
I'm thinking that we still go ahead and develop.
The
No.
mana.
No, because at this point, I feel like Dragon Fire Potion is going to be the route we end up having to take. So I think we use Dirty Rat to clear the Ravasar and
Heal it.
heal Dirty Rat back.
Okay,
Okay.
I like it.
I was going to suggest starting to develop the Mana Geode, but right now my plan is to Dragon Fire Potion on turn 5.
And even if he does Mark of the Lotus, we still set up for good Holy Nova.
Oh, he's moving.
He's not.
Just go ahead and take it out.
Wow. Wow.
So, do we coin Holy Nova here?
I don't think we do.
I don't think so. I think you developed the Twilight Drake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mainly
Twilight
because
Drake it is.
we want to get value out of Holy Nova or Dragonfire Potion after he's buffed them. Yes.
Now you Holy
Now
Nova.
we Holy Nova.
That just isn't even fair.
So, no, Dirty Rat doesn't give us anything because the board's full. Yeah. I mean, he gives him all his mana back, but what's he going to do with 3 cards? This is where
like
he wants to...
I feel like he just gave away a win condition.
I'm wondering if he didn't have Pilfered Power in his hand. Maybe he's trying to do a Pilfered Power combo.
Matt at Arms says, "Where's Mass Dispel?" When
yeah, I'm sure he's tucked it in there somewhere. Oh,
all right. So he plays a Shell Shifter.
Oh,
he plays.
Oh, Dragonfire Potion value.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Sorry, bud.
Oh yeah.
This is where
And that's it. Ball game. Welcome to Boom Priest.
Ooh, baby. Wow, that guy got wrecked.
Yeah. Guys, it's just 8:30. We've already won 2 games.
With Priest? Priest is supposed to go this fast. You're not supposed to win by turn 7 or 8, Priest.
So we go play another?
My spectator's getting bugged.
Yeah, mine is too. I have to stop spectating between every match.
Yep, me too.
Okay.
One more?
Sure,
Yeah,
one more.
I'm
This
gonna run
is
again.
fun. Yeah, this is fun.
I've got 30 minutes. I think I can finish the game.
I might actually catch Survivor tonight. That'd be a first.
Alright, so we're playing a Priest, and our opening hand is Stonehill Defender, Draconid Operative, and Primordial Drake.
Well, this guy's Phil Chino.
So Ramasi, the builder of this deck, says in this matchup against Priest, we really need Discovers. So he says toss only the Drake. Keep the other two.
In fact, against Priest, I was actually considering keeping the Drake as an activator.
We don't have a ton of activators in this deck, so that'd be worth it. And
I'm definitely keeping the Stonehill.
Stonehill Defender's not going to find... There's no taunts that are Drakes, right?
Oh, but you can draw Primordial Drake.
Yeah. Let's just keep it.
Okay, we're just going to keep it.
We're
playing with house money right now.
Yeah,
so.
let's experiment. Let's just see.
We've already got our 2 wins. Let's just see.
This may not be a choice that I make in like a tournament or in league play, but this is. Let's just try it out. If this is Lyra Priest, it's going to be very slow. Well, that's great.
Deathwing Draconid or Ysera. It would be our second Ysera if we take it, and that could really throw him off in the late game.
Do we have the balls to put down Deathwing Dragonlord? Or do we?
I do. I don't know if you do, but I do.
I love. I think this game's gonna go to 10.
Yeah, but I think Draconid Operative is still the better play here, and the reason why is because we have a chance to draw Ysera out of him, and then we gained a 5/6 body out of it.
I agree.
That's true. Draconid Operative is the right play if you don't have any balls. That's right.
Silly.
No, I've got them. I just don't know if the world wants to see them.
Right.
They want to see us win. I think Stonehill Defender here.
Stonehill all day.
Just like because next turn, I can actually heal the Mana Geode.
Yeah.
I feel like it doesn't make my next play ridiculous.
And having the Mana Geode behind a taunt's not bad.
Draw cards until you draw one that isn't a dragon doesn't do us any good, but the 4/5 body does.
Well, I mean, if we draw a dragon, we get a second draw. We do have dragons in this deck, but it's at least a draw 1.
Here's what I'm thinking. The Shell Razor is good, and that's what I was talking about. You almost always get the Shell Razor out of this.
Oh yeah.
Pompous Thespian, we're not even going to consider. So it's really between Rathian and the Shell Razor. I like Rathian's stats better, and right now I don't have a turn 6 play outside of the operative, and I don't know.
I say
No, I guess I do, because this actually fits my curve better. Of course, I was geoding anyway. I'm going to do Rathian.
Now, I will tell you the
Because
reason
next turn I'm
behind
going to geode.
Pompous Thespian. The reason behind that is to go Pompous Thespian and Mana Geode to protect your Mana Geode. I don't think it's worth picking it over Rathion, but that's my reasoning there.
Now, I would imagine that the geode is going to get pained here if he's got it.
He didn't pain last turn.
Yeah, but why would he? If I were playing, I wouldn't paint a historian or a.
That's true, I guess.
Or a Stonehill.
Could this be an elemental priest?
The geode could get out of control.
He may be in a position where he wants to do an elemental this turn, and he can't paint. Or he'll throw off his elemental synergy.
Yep, you're right.
Which it's neat playing against elementals. You kind of have that knowledge. Well, they want to throw an elemental, so they're going to have to sacrifice an elemental turn to do something else. I don't understand that, though. So do we develop geodes, or do we just slam down Draconet Operative?
Well, we're going into a Holy Nova turn, so I don't know that developing geodes in our best interest.
I don't think so.
Exclusively. I think we operative here.
I think so.
I mean, I would have to see something really just sick.
And that'll prompt him to do some major board clearing, and we can follow it up with Rathion.
That's what I'm thinking.
Ooh, wow. N'Zoth? This is an elemental death rattle deck without the quest?
That's what it looks like. Unless he threw the quest back because it was a mirror match, which I can't imagine he would, but...
Do you know what? Our Dragonfire Potion does a whole lot more damage than his.
Yeah.
So I say Dragonfire Potion.
I say Dragonfire Potion too. And then face?
Oh, yeah.
Another thought.
I say we start applying pressure and just not let up.
It could be that he develops all these death rattles early. Then late game, he gets his N'Zoth and his quest. He puts the quest out next turn. N'Zoth finishes it in just about one turn.
That's possible.
So then he's looking at using it like a legitimate 2-turn Reno.
Yeah, because you really don't need to complete the quest early with Priest. I think that's why a lot of people don't like it, is because they feel like they have to keep it in turn 1 when they get it in their hand, and really you don't. Because you're not going to need Amara until late game anyways. And N'Zoth is going to give you a majority of the quest right there.
There's Priest of the Feast.
This may be a tough matchup for us. How many cards do you have in his hand? 7. So we can make him overdraw. Do we Rathion?
I think there's value in getting rid of that Priest of the Feast.
I agree.
I mean, we can get rid of it easily by operative into it.
I'm thinking operative, historian into Priest of the Feast, and then Holy Nova. He gets rid of Priest of the Feast. He gets rid of the Talon Priest.
Oh, so you're not going to use the Dragonfire Potion?
Not this turn.
Okay.
Yeah. I think our opportunities for Holy Nova to get value are going to be pretty slim.
Ramasi says the same thing. Double tap the Priest of the Feast and then Holy Nova.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this keeps the Igneous on the board a little longer, because he's getting to a hand size it's going to be dangerous to pop his Igneous.
Yeah, and he actually didn't get to play an elemental that turn.
No, he didn't.
So no Servant of Kalamos and no Blaze Baller.
Oh yeah, this would be the turn. Oh, that's good catch that he can't use the Blaze Caller.
I was going to say he has to trade and play one of those little 1/1 elementals, giving him 5 disposable mana this turn.
Well, yeah,
Because
the
he
thing
will
is,
Blaze Caller next turn.
he doesn't want to overdraw. So, trying to think. So he is going to Blaze Caller next turn. So next
Shifting
turn,
Shade?
I'm almost thinking Shifting Shade and heal the operative and send the operative face.
Okay.
yeah, healing the operative doesn't save it from Blaze Caller though.
No,
It
it
doesn't.
doesn't, but
it keeps him from being able to clear with the minions on board, forcing him to use the Blaze Caller Battle Cry on the operative.
That's true. That's true. I like that.
Or we could just operative and force him to do both.
I think the Shifting Shade heal.
I mean, we could operative.
All right, yeah, the Shifting Shade heal the operative, and then
What I'm saying is, if we operative heal, we have a 5/6 and a 5/5.
Yeah,
It's
I
going to
like
force
that
him to
better.
use a lot of clear,
yeah. He's proven he doesn't have the death.
and that is going to be a Shadow Visions all day
Shadow
long.
Visions.
yeah.
I like
It's
that.
going to go face, going to get healed. Now he has to do both.
Yeah, because he'll
He can't-
Blaze Caller, and that's all of his mana.
He can't clear with Dragonfire Potion because they're dragons.
Yes.
There's
the
Servant.
Servant. Okay.
So
He's gonna send it all face.
Ramasi in chat said we should have saved the second operative, and then he was like, "Oh, never mind, I was wrong. You got a Shadow Visions."
Yeah. So what I'm thinking here is Dragonfire Potion
And heal
That
or
or-
Shadow Visions.
and Shadow Visions.
Okay, so he can still use Blaze Caller.
Mm-hmm.
What's the merit behind not Primordial? We gonna have a better time to Primordial Drake?
No, we're not. But it will cost us both of the operatives.
Not this turn.
It will. Because I can't clear the Servant of Kalamos.
No, but you'll have a 4/8 taunt up.
True. He's got to run it into that. You're right.
Yep.
Okay.
And he'll have to use a Blaze Caller on it.
Yep.
And we do 10 to face.
Oh, you're exactly right. He'll have to use Blaze Caller on.
Because you're not going to find a better time that you get value against another priest.
Oh, you're right.
And it puts him at 10 cards now. He has to do stuff.
Yeah. This is a Blaze Caller turn. It's got to be.
Blaze Caller run in. And if that's the case, we're way... Is that lethal? No, it's not lethal. But we're way ahead.
Right.
Because all we do is Shadow Word, Death it, and go to face. Song
Silence.
Stealer? He took one attack off the board. Other than, I don't know. If he had Blaze Caller should have been in play. Maybe he doesn't have it.
He's got it.
Well, he can't cast it now
No, he can't.
Yeah, it's
'Cause-
right here.
because he's not played an elemental this turn, so it won't do him any good next turn.
So there is the second Dragonfire, my second Dragonfire Potion.
We could Dragonfire Potion and heal up the operative and just go face.
Or you can go face and Ysera.
I think I'll get Sarah. There is
Did
the
we clear
small
the
chance I
5/5?
get Sarah's Awakens,
That's true.
and then I could just end the game.
You still go
next turn.
face though, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going face.
He'll be at 6 health.
See, that Blaze Caller is a detriment in his hand. He can't do it now because he did cast an elemental. Yeah, good call, Adams. and now he's going to try to Lyra out, but I don't think he can. He's too far. He's too far
No, he
behind.
can too.
Well, yeah, but what's he going to get though? He's look how much mana he's on.
Binding Heal is free.
Yeah,
Holy Smite is free.
he's a
Shadow
chain
Word
holy
Death
smite.
is
Purify. He's digging,
yeah.
He
Shadow
has
Word
to
Death
get
is
healed.
1.
and we have Dragonfire
doesn't
Potion. We're
help
just going
him.
to clear the board.
Well, yeah, but
He's just dead on board. He had to get rid of Ysera and he couldn't.
yeah.
I don't think there's anything he can do to get rid of Ysera.
Nope, there's not.
That was a good That was a good game. Some real pivotal decisions. That was fun. I like that
That's
a
the
lot.
kind of Hearthstone that I like to play.
And see, that's the kind of Hearthstone that Journey to Angoro has brought to us, and I'm super excited. I understand when trying to go up the ladder, those type of games frustrate people because they take a long time. There's a lot of thought, and it's not getting them their ranks fast. But that's the kind of Hearthstone I like.
Yeah.
I mean, there were times where we had 2 or 3 different plays, and we sat and deliberated and decided the right play. If you haven't been watching HGG, all these teams are actually communicating. Either they're in the same room together or they're communicating over Skype. And it's really fun to see, the mouse move around where they're changing their decisions and they're changing their mind. This is a lot of fun to me. And if this is the type of esports that Hearthstone's going to kind of drive to and push towards, I'm really excited to be part of it.
So, real quick, and this is just going to be a bonus for the people that are watching the play portion. That's a question that I guess I ask myself a lot, especially when I stream. The mouse movements as I work through my plays, I don't do them because I don't want my opponent to see me mousing over cards or hero powers or his cards or his hero power. I don't want him to know my line of thinking. But I see a lot of people do it. So in my mind, I'm like, am I overthinking this? Am I thinking that they're going to pay more attention than they're actually going to play? Pay? Or am I doing the right thing by not giving him any information at all, him or her, by giving any information at all? So
I have a good answer on this. If you watch a lot of the competitive esports, you will see even on turn 1, the pro player will take the time almost to the rope. They'll hover over each card, and they do that every turn. So if you do it consistently, you're not given any additional information, because if you're playing quick every time, and then all of a sudden on turn 5, you hover over a card, you hover over another one, then you're giving away a tell. But if every turn you kind of go through the same methodology, and you do kind of the same actions of hovering over your cards and thinking out your plays, then how are they going to be able to discern that turn on turn 2 you doing that to turn 8? Because you're doing the same thing. It's just like in poker where somebody scratches their nose and rubs their chin. If they do that, they're going to do that every hand because they want to show consistency. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yep. All right, guys. Do you have any last thoughts about this deck before we close out the show tonight? Zeroshio, we'll start with you.
It's awesome. I have all the cards to make it. It's going to happen.
Versika.
Well, I mean, we talked about it when it came through that this was definitely along the same lines of the stuff that I've been playing since the start. I've actually, 58 wins since Ungoro has come out with Priest. So
wow,
I am moving in that direction with Priest. It'll probably, it's the second on my list in heroes to get to Golden. So I'll probably end up having a gold Tyrande by the end of the expansion.
Nice. Well, I hope if nothing else, we have shown you the power of the mana geode and how much fun it is. So
I do want to say one thing. There's a little bit of snickering and joking about Mass Dispel in the deck. Mass Dispel actually wouldn't be bad against a rogue matchup because you can Mass Dispel the rogues after they do the quest, and the minions on board will lose the 5/5 buff.
Yeah. Yep. Found out you can also Sunkeeper Tareem them. And
Yep, Sunkeeper
make them
Tareem.
3/3s.
You can Aldor Peacekeeper. You can do anything that modifies them after they're on the board because it almost acts as a battle cry. They come in, and as soon as they hit the board, they get the effect.
You just cannot polymorph them or hex them because they're still 5/5s.
Yes, because that's putting a new minion on the board when they transform, and it turns it into a 5/5. Now you can do that and then Mass Dispel, and they go back to their original stats.
Mad at Arms says no. If you Mass Dispel them, they're still 5/5s.
I thought I saw differently. I could be wrong, but I thought I saw a streamer test that out.
Says silencing a quest rogue minion does nothing.
Does nothing. Okay, well then never mind. Scratch that. I must have seen incorrectly. Maybe I saw something along the lines of the Tareem or something like that. And I thought
now I know for a fact you can Sunkeeper Tareem them and
well, I saw that happen too, so I don't know if I know it for a fact now.
right now, Mass Dispel is good against Egg Druid.
Mm-hmm.
It's good against the current run of Hunter decks that are on the ladder
because they use a lot of death rattles and buffs.
It's good against Handlock.
Mm-hmm.
It's good against the Discard
Paladin.
Lock. It's good against Paladin. So, I mean, once again, I was ahead of the meta. Everyone made fun of me for running Mass Dispel. Now it's...
And you're going to say that you predicted One Night in Karazhan. Oh, come on.
Who would have predicted that?
Right.
You.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us this week. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please shoot us an email at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. If you have any questions about the deck we ran tonight, please send them in. We'd love to talk to you about it. Do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button below on YouTube if you haven't done so already, or give us a follow on Twitch to be alerted to when we go live. And as we said earlier, if you're interested in joining us in Discord or participating in the Hero Power Patron Tournament, which is coming up in 2 weeks, or a week and a half, I guess, Saturday, April the 29th, go to patreon.com/heropower for more info. And until next week, good gaming.
Bye, guys. Have fun.